20 TWO, she was my release and my way to freedom. She had to teach me to live or teach me to die. She had to touch my deadened heart with her firm and pretty hand, and at the touch of life it would either leap again to flame or subside in ashes. Steppenwolf by Hermann Hesse. Leaving Simone's, Amon Re heads towards his car in the lot. He passes by that jewelry store again, this time smelling steak, which he loves the smell of, hates to chew it, and he returns to Mercer to swig down scotch while he still has a bit of toothpaste flavor. He appreciates the combination since it reminds him of when he was a boy and he often brushed his teeth to prevent Louis or Mother from smelling cigarettes or alcohol on his breath, although it reeked from the rest of his body. Memories of boyhood. Amon Re drinks his breakfast, does more coke, shoots up, swallows a Dixie, and changes into his new shirt hoping to look decent enough to visit the waitress that has profoundly captured his interest. He prefers this shirt over his old one because it has a pocket where he can put his cigarettes. If he forgets them in his back pocket, he can get careless and smush them, even the hard part. Broken cigarettes suck to smoke because he gets the tobacco on his lips and that annoys him. A pocket is good. As far as his drugs, some are stashed in the car or another storage area for excess, but otherwise in his pocket he carries use enough at least for one day and morning, along with a needle and spoon with a broken handle well contained in a small cloth case deep in his pocket. He has tape on the grip of the spoon since it's broken close to the concave part. The tape prevents him from burning his fingers. He has a latex glove in his back pocket that he uses around his arm. His cash is in a small black wallet that holds nothing but the cash and license, always in his front pocket with his car keys because back pockets are too easy to pick. He knows that from experience, on the end of the pickpocket. Lastly, he has his trusty pocket knife and a 6x4, or sometimes smaller notebook or folded piece of paper and pen in his other back pocket, a lighter or matches, and a piece of carnelian in the front. Amon Re double-checks his nose, finding some balls of coke dangling from his nose hair and fixing that with a wet finger. He brushes his teeth again, this time with his own toothbrush and toothpaste, which he keeps in his glove box. He doesn't bathe often, but he frequently brushes his teeth because he likes the feeling of freshness in his mouth. Filth on his body doesn't bother him, but he is repulsed by a mouth fraught with grime. Upon entering the restaurant, the waitress immediately notices him and smiles. Amon makes no eye contact and attempts to pass shadow-like to the bar. He observes her moving around to serve the clientele. She has a lot of energy. He thinks he could never move that much in one day. She heads towards him now and his leg trembles as he watches her approach. "How are you?" she says. "I'm sorry, I don't remember your name. I don't think I told you. I'm Amon Re." "Amon Re, is that Egyptian? A god? King of the gods? Amon Ra, Nazunetaru. Did you name yourself that?" "No, my birth name. My father was an entrepreneur." "Then you're not Egyptian." She laughs. "Irish. It's a good name." He says nothing. "Well, can I get you anything?" "Yours, please." He lights a cigarette. "Not the greatest breakfast, you know." "Is that all?" "Well," realizing it's been a few days since he's eaten, which would explain a bit of his lightheadedness, he orders French fries, chocolate cake, and cola. He adds, "and conversation if you're interested." "I'd like that." "When?" "I don't know. To be honest, I didn't expect you to say yes." "Why wouldn't I?" She suggests a coffee house about 15 minutes off the highway. Amon Re nods. He tells her he'll be there when she gets out of work, though for now he sits and drinks his scotch slowly, eating half the cake and half the plate of fries, Despite the fact that he hates the feeling of food in his mouth, thinking it's odd and he gets bored chewing, he's got the good appetite this morning. As he sits thinking, uncertain about why he is making this contact. Why, when he knows that like everyone else, she will learn the core of his being is a deep, dark hell which burns and destroys. She will inevitably know him, discover how worthless and contaminating he is, and she will avoid him, try to erase him from her world like everyone tends to do at some point. How vain he is, Amon thinks, that after all he's done, some horrible things, how could he expect to be worthy enough to partake in the clean world he affirms this young woman exists in? However, he can't help being overwhelmed by the idea that there are new thoughts within his mind that have nothing to do with drugs, nothing to do with the voices. And at this moment, the woman is not screaming. After Amon finishes his feast, leaving a big tip for her, he goes to a nearby convenience store where he buys a package of stick incense and thieves a pocket Italian for travelers, simply because it's at finger's distance and it's always good to know other languages. The incense is myrrh. He wants his car to not smell like cigarettes or alcohol or cooked heroin, and he likes myrrh. He burns one stick and he tosses the rest and his few belongings in the trunk. Amon Re vomits, smooth and easy, no pain. He hates the feeling of food as he purges it, causes him to gag more, and once it's all up and out, he's pleased. Fullness in his stomach is uncomfortable anyway. Noon arrives and to pass the time, he goes to that Irish bar across from the parking lot. Say Nevada, he mumbles to himself about a person by him talking to someone else but vibrating Amon's private space.